If you are receiving this transmission, you are the Cynical Militia. You are listening to Professor Cynical on all available frequencies. This is not a test.
Coming to you from a studio in Glasgow, this is Professor Cynical.
Good day, you absolute legends. Have you ever worried about AI, especially with it being kind of the norm in today's society? But what if I was to tell you that AI is taking bigger leaps than anyone could anticipate? And by that, I mean actual being trained on playing video games, and it's getting scarily good. Like, I'm talking, you won't be able to distinct whether or not it's an actual player playing a game or whether or not it's AI. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're going to be talking about today, because it turns out that this AI being run by Google right now has been trained to play No Man's Sky as if it was an actual player, and it's scarily good. But yeah, that's what we're going to speak about today. I did a poll yesterday asking what today's topic should be about, and it was quite unanimous that we should talk about this. So hey up, this is what this video is all about. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to get through today, so let's get right on into today's video. So on November the 13th, Mr. Murray reposted a tweet, or an X post, or whatever it is you want to call it these days, about Google DeepMind. Now, Cyma 2 is our most capable AI agent for virtual 3D worlds, powered by Gemini. It goes beyond following basic instructions to think, understand, and take action in interactive environments, meaning you can talk to it through text, voice, or even images. And the scary thing, first of all here, ladies and gentlemen, is that this is now being trained on No Man's Sky, as you can see in the promotion demo right there. It's absolutely insane. Now, like I said, right now, this is just through talking to it by text, voice, or images. But what this does is open up the floodgates. What this does is open up anything to do with NPCs, for example. You wouldn't know if you are encountering an NPC in a game thinking that you're just there for a quest or whatnot, when they're speaking back to you virtual real time. And you know, AI's gotten so good now that sometimes you can't even tell if it's an AI that's speaking to you or whether or not it's a person, and that's the scary thing. But the fact that they are looking into this technology, and Hello Games is allowing this technology to happen on the No Man's Sky platform, it could mean a lot of very big things for No Man's Sky, and probably as soon as 2026 next year. And we will go on to what that could possibly be in just a moment. Next up, another report by Newsbites right here. Google Cyma 2 AI can now play No Man's Sky. Now, this is what I was talking about. You won't even be able to differentiate between if it's an AI playing or an actual human being playing. It's that good. It's really, really, really like mind-blowing and also terrifying at the exact same time. Google DeepMind just rolled out Cyma 2, a next-generation or next-gen AI agent that can play games like No Man's Sky, Valheim, and Goat Simulator 3. So obviously it's not just classified to No Man's Sky, it can play quite a lot of different things, but they have trained it on No Man's Sky, and that's what we're going to focus on today. Thanks to Google's Gemini AI, Cyma 2 actually understands what players want and can handle tricky tasks in new game worlds, making it a big leap from last year's version. So last year, ladies and gentlemen, you might have seen some reports, and I remember making a video about it. It was quite a while ago. When we kind of got some news about Google DeepMind. That was kind of like the first iteration of all this, and we knew through some leaks and rumors and speculation, there wasn't too much about it. It was all hush-hush, in my opinion, but Google approached Hello Games and asked whether or not they could train what they call DeepMind, the model, on No Man's Sky, and apparently it was rather successful. So it looks like this is the predecessor to that, which again is mind-blowing. They must have had some really good success. And just a little bit more about DeepMind as well, ladies and gentlemen. I pulled up a Tom's Guide article right here where it says Google DeepMind trains its AI to play No Man's Sky and other video games. Meet your new co-pilot. Now, like I said, this was this was published in 2024. So by this point, it's over a year old, near enough 2 years as I'm speaking to you. So it does look like they have had a lot of success, like I said, and they are gaining traction in the technology. Google's Advanced Artificial Intelligence Lab, DeepMind, has trained a new model capable of playing high-end games like No Man's Sky, Valheim, and even Goat Simulator, right? Requiring special instructions, and that is the key phrase there, special instructions. I know with the Cyber 2 or whatever model it is now, that it does say, with inputs such as text, voice, and images and so on, then it will play the game from whatever you tell it, but it's also an automated thing as well. This is why I was trying to say, you won't be able to tell anymore whether or not it's an AI playing or whether or not it's an actual human. And from the demonstration video, again, I'll put it up on screen right now, you can see just how advanced. That isn't a person playing in the demo. That is an actual AI, machine, a computer playing No Man's Sky. Let that just sink in. So why is this such a big deal? AI's kind of taking over the internet, right? But why is it such a big deal for video games? Why is this such a big deal for No Man's Sky? Is it a good big deal or a bad big deal? And there are two arguments to that very coin, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, the good thing here is you can break it down in a few ways. Number one is the NPCs could get a massive new overhaul, become AI, become almost like you are interacting with actual players rather than dumb NPCs that give you the same pre-scripted narrative all of the time, and they might be able to give you brand new missions that have never been done before because it's all procedurally generated, because the AI is doing it, or AI is doing it, not AI is doing it. AI Captain. The AI is doing the whole script thing for you. There could be loads of different narratives like that really could push NPCs in a whole new direction, making games feel very much alive. And there is no limitation on how many NPCs that a game can really have anymore, because games are that advanced now. I mean, it would require a lot of graphical power, no doubt, but with graphics and that becoming pretty big these days, it would be quite scary to see what No Man's Sky would look like in a few years' time with added development from AI, because I think that's the way that this is now looking, especially with them allowing the new Simon model to be trained on the Hello Games No Man's Sky platform. And no doubt they might even be allowing it to train on the Light No Fire platform as well when that launches, or they might even already have an early demo, who knows. But also another thing here is the universe could feel more alive than ever, because imagine going into the anomaly and seeing it absolutely jam packed no matter what time or day of the week that you visit the anomaly or play No Man's Sky. Imagine actual ships flying past you, where normally you don't really see anybody when you're out and about, going exploring planets and that, because there are 17 quintillion planets per galaxy, and there's 256 whatever galaxies in No Man's Sky. So the chances of finding people just out randomly in the wild is 0.0001% or something astronomically small and stupid. But with this, they could highly ramp that number up, where maybe a chance encounter is 100% of the time you'll see people flying across the galaxy and doing things, but you think are people, but they're not, they're AI, or it could be 20% of the time, 30% of the time, or whatnot. But overall, it would make No Man's Sky feel like an actual universe, rather than being as empty as it feels, because like I said, 17 quintillion planets, do the math. So them are the good points, in my opinion. Now, obviously, there are some bad points behind this, and we have already seen some of the bad points already play out with AI models being introduced in certain real-world events, if you will, where, for example, recently, I believe it was Microsoft. No, it was Amazon. Amazon Web Services, where they updated the network code or whatever, some kind of massive server room that kind of controls a lot of different websites in Amazon. They uploaded it with AI for them to fix some code to automatically do it. And long story short, it was corrupt. It was messed up. And a lot of services Amazon Web Services, or AWS, went down. And that meant you couldn't get access to lots and lots and lots of websites. And that was just very recent. So the concern is that if AI was getting plugged into No Man's Sky, would it do the same? Is there a chance that it could really mess up the game beyond fixing, and essentially breaking a legacy that has stemmed now for near enough 10 years? Could that happen? Or would it change the game in such a way that it just makes the game undesirable to play? Because, maybe the NPCs aren't thingy enough. You don't know whether or not you're talking to an actual person or whether or not it's AI. That's the whole confusing aspect of it as well. A lot of people probably wouldn't like that, probably like to know that you're actually talking to an actual person in game. If you're in the Nexus and you want to go on to a mission together, you probably want to know that you're actually playing with an actual person rather than an AI. And you kind of would want that distinction. I mean, will they go around with massive cons on his saying AI on it, like dunce cap or something? I mean, I don't know. I'm just speculating here. But, there are good and bad points to this. I mean, I've just rounded off a few good points. I've rounded off a few bad points. I'm sure there's an endless list of good and bad points, but, this is where I open the floor up now to you guys, the legends. Let me know in the comment section down below, do you think AI coming to No Man's Sky is a good thing? Or do you think it's a bad thing? Do you want AI to happen in No Man's Sky? Or do you think they should just leave the game as it is and just develop as is? I mean, let me know what you think about this. I mean, it looks like it's coming to a bunch of different games, and going off of this, it's definitely on the cards for the future, in my opinion. They wouldn't let Google train their model in AI if Hello Games didn't have a little bit of stake, a little bit of skin in the game with it. So, in my opinion, it's probably the direction that they will be going. But that's just what I think. That's my opinion. Let me know yours, comment section down below. You know what to do. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's everything from me here today. And as always, my name is Professor Cynical, and I'll catch you all again in the next one. Bye for now.
Join the Cynical Militia on Professor Cynical's Patreon. No exclusive perks needed. Just your passion for epic space adventures and bold discussions keeps the galaxy spinning. Choose your tier. Fuel the mission. Repent Jar. $1 a month. Forgiveness for your ad block sins. A pack of Monster. $5 a month. Keep the creative thrusters firing. Absolute Legends. $10 a month. That got me thinking. $50 a month. A bold, questionable financial decision that screams you're all in. Why join? Every pledge strengthens the Cynical Militia, keeping Professor Cynical's YouTube channel a thriving hub for No Man's Sky fans, craving news, updates, and unfiltered discussions. You're not just a supporter, you're part of a galactic community that dares to explore and think differently. Don't just traverse the stars, own them. Enlist now at patreon.com/ProfessorCynical1 and let's conquer the No Man's Sky universe together.